Greetings, readers of Game Zone. My name is Tom Caswell. I am here with Meagan Marie, the community manager for Crystal Dynamics. And you guys make a very cool game. It's called Tomb Raider. And Rise of the Tomb Raider came out last year for Xbox One, was on there for a year, and now you guys are launching for the PS4 with the 20th anniversary edition. Can you just talk quickly about maybe what is different between the original release and the 20th anniversary, what we can expect additionally?
Yeah, so Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration is really the ultimate edition of the game. We have included all DLC, all of the content from the season pass, but then we really wanted to make it something super special for our fans because it is the 20-year anniversary this year. Tomb Raider originally came out in 1996. So we added a whole bunch of new content. We created, the set piece around it is really Croft Manor, which is something that, you know, we'd been hoping to reintroduce to the universe for a while, and this seemed like the perfect time to do it. So Blood Ties is the DLC for Croft Manor. And you actually, as Lara, you explore it looking for her father's will. Her uncle thinks that she is unfit for taking legal control of Croft Manor, and she has to prove that she is the legal owner of it. And from a narrative standpoint, she had kind of walked away from the manor in the reboot because it had some bad memories for her, but now she's recognizing in Rise, as she starts to accept her destiny as the Tomb Raider, that it actually has significance on a sentimental value, and it also has significance because it houses some secrets that are very relevant to her. So that is a hour-long piece of very story-driven DLC. There's no combat. It's just all adventure, finding objects and learning about Lara's past and solving puzzles. And then we have a replayable mode within there called Lara's Nightmare, which is a really fun zombie takeover of Croft Manor. It's supposed to be this twisted version of the manor in her nightmares. And it's replayable every time you spawn in a new location. The 3 skulls that you have to find spawn in a new location, and the weapons and so on spawn in a new location. So it's really about seeing how fast you can beat it and getting the highest score and working your way to the top of the leaderboards. The Blood Ties, the story aspect of it is compatible with PSVR, which is really exciting for our studio. It's our first time trying VR, and we thought that was the perfect, place to try it in, the perfect sandbox to try it in, because it is, again, a very adventure-based mode.
So can I play the whole DLC in VR, or
you can play,
how does it work?
Yeah, you can play the Blood Ties, so the hour-long story-driven DLC.
Entirely in virtual reality.
Yeah. And it's really cool because you get to basically explore Croft Manor as if you were Lara, and it's so fun because
but there's combat as well in the virtual reality,
so
or
just the story. So it's the Blood Ties and Lara's Nightmare. So just the story version of it you can play in VR. The combat-centric one is just the standard third person.
Gotcha.
We've also added co-op to Endurance Mode. Endurance Mode was our first big DLC drop after the launch last year, and it's essentially driving survival, taking survival up a notch. So you have to monitor your food intake and your warmth, and so you have to hunt to survive and find shelter and so on, and all the while you want to get your resources up so that you can go and raid tombs and find artifacts and so on. And now we have co-op, which is really exciting. It's a procedurally generated Siberian wilderness, so it goes on forever. It's different every time, and it's a really cool playground to join in with your friends. And then on top of that, we have a new Extreme Survivor difficulty mode, which basically eliminates all save points unless you build a base camp. You have to find the resources to build a base camp and then save at the base camp. Otherwise, none of your progress is saved. It's very tough. And then we've added 5 new classic Lara skins, and they're actual skins. They're like the low poly skins.
Yeah.
We have a new outfit reimagined from Tomb Raider 3, reimagined for Rise Lara. So we really put a ton of new content in there, in addition to the previous pieces of DLC, the Baba Yaga, the Cold Darkness Awaken, and so on. So it's everything there.
It seems like a lot of content, and the cool thing is like, Lara started out on the PlayStation, kind of classically she's a PlayStation character, so it was a very kind of big surprise when they announced, hey, this is going to be exclusive to Xbox. I don't know how much you can talk to kind of the benefits of making something platform exclusive and how that worked out for you, and kind of like the lessons you learned from that. Are you able to speak to that at all?
I can touch on it lightly. I mean, essentially when we set out in partnership with Xbox, we wanted to make the best version of the game that we could possibly make. And in doing that with the platform exclusive, we were able to work really closely with the engineers of the platform and optimize everything. And we really feel like we did make the best Tomb Raider game we've ever made in Rise of the Tomb Raider. And so it was a very fulfilling partnership. We were very happy with the critical reception of Rise. But that being said, it is really great to get the game out there for everybody. And so we wanted to make sure that we made the PlayStation and the 20-year celebration launch something very special. So working with them closely on the PSVR, it's been really wonderful too.
And with obviously the release, so Tomb Raider came out in 2012, the first one, and then so it's been 3-4 years. Has there been like a long overarching plan for this property, or was it kind of like, okay, we're making this big splash with Tomb Raider, we'll see how it goes, we'll see how people take Lara, because obviously things like Uncharted have come out, there are a lot of games that kind of do this adventure treasure hunting thing, and obviously that was successful for you guys. What are kind of maybe some of the future plans for the franchise, if you can talk to those at all?
Yeah, well, I can definitely say that 20 years on, Lara is, you look back at the late 90s and Tomb Raider was just launching a comic series. They had a few successful games out. They had just announced a movie and so on. In 2016 now, we have just relaunched the series, have a couple successful games out. We have relaunched the comic series and there's a new movie coming out. So, 20 years later, it's really amazing that Lara is still doing so well. So right now we are very focused on getting through next week and launching the game.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Lara is going to go anywhere, and the team has been really excited to continue, particularly the story arc and Lara's growth as a character. The difference in growth between Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider and seeing her starting to become more confident and more capable is really amazing, and it's going to be exciting, I think, to see that continue. We just could also want to continue to evolve the flavor of gameplay that sets us apart within the action-adventure space, which is really that survival aspect and that openness of the environments with the hub system. So we think that that's something that really sets us apart and kind of gives us our own flavor within action-adventure, and I'm going to keep developing that too.
Awesome. And for you personally, you're the community manager, so you're heavily involved with the fan base, and obviously you're probably the first line of defense for any feedback that comes in for the games. How much of maybe the feedback from the first Tomb Raider, from the original release of Rise, is playing into the content you guys are crafting?
Yeah, well, the good thing is that we have a lot of fans on our team, and I'm not talking about recent fans. We have fans who have been playing the game for the full 20 years, and they were telling me stories of how they always used to carpool together when they worked at other companies, and they talk about this new game, Tomb Raider. So we have a lot of fans, and we have a lot of people who really care about the franchise, and what's really great is I take all that feedback and I put it into the team and give them that feedback, and a lot of the times it aligns very closely with what we know we want to improve, where we want to take the character. But there's always bits of feedback that we see and we take those into consideration. One of those being zombies, surprisingly enough. We did testing and we talked to people and zombies tested really well for our post-release content, and so we're like, all right, what do zombies look like in a Tomb Raider universe? But so we do take all that feedback into consideration, and it's like I said, it's wonderful when it aligns already with a creative vision and then makes us know we're on the right track.
Awesome. And personally for you, I'm just curious as to kind of maybe your favorite part of the game, favorite part of the character of Lara Croft. What to you entices you about the Tomb Raider?
Yeah, so I've been a fan since the whole 20 years. I've been a huge Tomb Raider fan, and she was really influential in my teenage years and even growing up and deciding I wanted to work in gaming. So I really love classic Lara for her strength and for her courage and so on. And I also really love the reboot Lara because she has flaws and because she struggles. And that's something that as a fan and as an individual, I really identify with. I love that she is afraid sometimes, but then she has enough courage to push through that fear to do what needs to be done, and that she doesn't always have the answers, and sometimes she doubts herself, but she's still a really exceptional person, and she's still this amazing heroine. And so I think that's something on my level that I really enjoy about her. And it's probably as specific as I can get without giving away spoilers.
Sure.
But some of my favorite moments are a little spoilery.
Later in the game.
Yes.
Gotcha. And you did talk about the movie, obviously. We did have the quintessential Angelina Jolie films of the mid-2000s, but obviously we've got a reboot of sorts coming up with Alicia Vikander, who seems like a very great choice for Lara. How closely is the development team, the production team for the movie, working with Crystal Dynamics? What can we maybe see in the movie, or what's the relationship there?
So we haven't announced a lot about the movie except for the director and Alicia, but it is going to be the reboot universe, and so it'll be the young Lara Croft and her origin story and so on. But they are, it is their movie, and they're definitely have the creative control, but they have been consulting with the team and sending scripts over and so on, because they see us as the definitive Tomb Raider experts, and it's really great that they want to make sure they get it right for fans. So I think it's a good first step. It's a good practice between the companies.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Meagan, for your time. I know that you're recovering from a lot of traveling, but yeah, no, great answers to my questions. And stick here on GameZone.com or YouTube.com/GameZone for all your Tomb Raider coverage.